Well, the weekend started off with a few showers this morning, but things quickly improved throughout the day. But now we're tracking more rain as we head into Sunday. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. With me, meteorologist Joe Ranieri. And Joe, what do we have in store for tomorrow?
Rain a good portion of the day. In fact, that rain that I'm tracking for tomorrow is already starting to arrive along the Oregon coast. And with that rain along the beaches is some windy conditions. Here's a live look from our camera out there in Newport. You can see a temperature of 45 degrees. Winds are relatively light, but it's the gusts that you're definitely noticing, with gusts right around 20 miles an hour. But this is that upper level low out in the Pacific that's going to continue to bring some showers tonight and into tomorrow. Now, the more south you go away from downtown Portland, you're going to be seeing relatively drier conditions tomorrow. But we'll zoom in right now. We're going to be picking up those rain showers throughout the west side of the state. And overnight and into tomorrow, you could be seeing a little bit of some light snow showers throughout the Oregon Cascades. Snow level will be at 2,500 feet overnight, jump to 3,500 feet by the afternoon. And you can start to see some a little bit of some lightning strikes out there this evening. And this is what we've seen so far in terms of rainfall. Most of this, falling earlier this morning, about 0.2 of an inch of rain at the Portland International Airport. Just a little more than trace amounts over in Wine Country in Yamhill County, with 4/100ths of an inch and closing on 1/2 of an inch over along the central Oregon coast. As we go into the overnight hours, we'll be seeing some wet conditions, especially along the Oregon coast. There's a chance to see some heavy downpours tomorrow, a good portion of the day along the beaches. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. One person is dead and 2 are in the hospital after a crash on Highway 228 in Linn County. Just before 5 Friday afternoon, the Sweet Home Fire District was called to a head-on crash a few miles southwest of town. A second medic unit was called after poor weather meant a life flight was unable to respond. The driver of one of the vehicles was pronounced dead as first responders got there. The crash is under investigation by Oregon State Police. In Kelso, a 2-vehicle crash that caused a semi to roll over has since taken the life of one of the people involved. It happened before 11:30 Thursday night near the I-5 southbound off-ramp. The semi driver, 57-year-old Brian Campbell, had to be extricated from the vehicle. He was pronounced dead today. Some responders called this one of the most challenging crashes of their careers. The other driver is being charged with vehicular homicide and DUI. Also in Kelso, one person is dead and several people are displaced after a house fire early Friday morning. Officers arrived first, rescuing a man who was inside the living room. Other people were able to get out unhurt. Fire crews came and put out the flames when they found the body of a woman just outside her bedroom. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Well, it was another emotional night in St. Helens on Friday as families continue to deal with the fallout of a growing sex abuse scandal. Mayor-elect Jennifer Massey organized a town hall to give parents a space to meet with elected leaders to talk about ways to keep kids safe and to hold school district leaders accountable. One option, advocating to change the law around mandatory reporting.
I think that there's a gap there. There is no criminal aspect for a mandatory reporter intentionally not reporting, and that is my big concern.
Eric Stearns, a choir teacher, and Mark Collins, a retired math teacher, were arrested and charged with sex abuse last week. Since then, the superintendent and the St. Helens High School principal were placed on leave and are being investigated by DHS for failure to report alleged abuse. 2 more staff members are also under state investigation for alleged abuse. And St. Helens police this week also started investigating a middle school teacher for their conduct towards students. All this only kicked off after students shared their experiences on social media.
This culture has somehow gotten passed on from one generation to the next of not reporting and not keeping students safe.
Governor Tina Kotek has also taken notice. She vowed to escalate the state's engagement with the district and make a recommendation for an interim superintendent if the board does not within 14 days. Well, an update to a Vancouver investigation into a string of bank robberies. Today, police arrested a man they believe could be connected to 2 other suspects. 44-year-old Brian Von Duke allegedly robbed 3 Vancouver banks between September and October of this year. It's after Andrew Beckman and Amira Askew were charged with their roles in 10 other bank robberies. Police are still investigating all the cases and say Von Duke will likely see more charges added. Well, a local grocery chain has responded after the union representing more than 1,000 of its workers announced a one-day strike set for the day before Thanksgiving. The New Seasons labor union has been bargaining since the beginning of last year over pay and benefits. The union also filed unfair labor practice charges against New Seasons, which the chain believes are all unfounded. In a statement to KGW, New Seasons says it is approaching the bargaining table in good faith and that first-time contracts are challenging, especially with newly formed unions. The Wednesday strike will affect 10 Portland locations and 1 in Beaverton. In Albany, mediation continued today between the school district and the local teachers union. Before that, hundreds of parents and students held a rally in support of the ongoing strike, which is about to enter its third week. On Friday, the union said progress has been made, but a teacher has also filed charges accusing the district of holding secret meetings and trying to pressure parents to reduce their support. There is no school all of next week due to planned days off and the Thanksgiving holiday. Well, today, 2,000 families across the Portland metro area got free Thanksgiving meals delivered right to their doorstep just in time for the holidays. Here's Blair Best with how this year's stands out from a more than century-long tradition.
Can you lift that up?
Inside these boxes, a traditional Thanksgiving meal.
Turkey, they're getting stuffing and potatoes.
Packaged and hand-delivered.
All 7 in the back?
To thousands of families across the Portland metro area.
You got this, Lee.
All right. It's my workout today.
You know, it's a Portland tradition.
That's lasted more than 100 years. The Sunshine Division, a Portland nonprofit fighting food insecurity, is known for its free home-delivered Christmas dinners. Until now.
Today is our first ever Thanksgiving food box delivery for Sunshine Division.
What has changed the past few years, Thanksgiving has been so busy for us, busiest days of the year we've ever had.
According to new USDA data, roughly 12% of Oregon households experienced food insecurity between 2021 and 2023, and 5% met the extreme or very low threshold. That's an increase from the previous 3 years combined. On Saturday at the Portland International Raceway,
Hello. Have you done this before?
more than 300 people crossed the finish line, delivering meals to those in need just in time for the holidays.
We do this every year. Just something that we can help the community out with.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah. We're excited to get back.
We're all as busy as we've ever been, and so we're really inviting the community to continue to support us.
And that support goes a long way.
So when you think about going to your grocery store and you're hitting roundup at your grocer, those dollars are coming back to make this a reality.
Blair Best, KGW News.